Hey, picture this. You're 28, pulling down $88,000 a year after a couple of promotions. Solid money, especially with that student loan payment finally feeling manageable. But at the end of every month, your checking account is scraping empty. You've got that $650 car payment on the SUV you deserved, rent on a nice apartment with the gym you barely use, subscriptions piling up, and yeah, those DoorDash nights because cooking after a 10-hour day just isn't happening. Meanwhile, your college roommate, who's making maybe $62,000 as a teacher, just booked a family trip to Disney, has 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account, and is throwing extra at his Roth IRA. You're sitting there thinking, the math isn't mathing. How are they winning while I'm grinding harder? If that's hitting home right now, if you're frustrated watching the American dream feel further away despite a good salary, stick with me, because what I'm about to break down is going to completely change how you attack your money. My name's Troy, and I spend way too much time thinking about why so many hard-working Americans are stuck chasing the American dream the wrong way. If you're someone who's busting your butt with a decent paycheck, but still living paycheck to paycheck, wondering why wealth feels impossible, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing that frustrates me to no end. Most people are trying to play offense and defense with their money at the same time, and they're losing both games badly. They're out here clipping digital coupons on their phone while also grinding side hustles into the ground. They're meal prepping to save $50 a week, but then dropping $800 on the latest iPhone because everyone has it. They're too broke to breathe easy, but too busy chasing the next raise to actually plug the leaks in their spending. And in America, with our sky-high costs, think student loans averaging nearly $39,000 per borrower, car payments hitting $750 a month on average for new vehicles, and rent eating 30 to 40% of take-home pay. This half-assed approach keeps you trapped forever. Look, the folks who actually build real wealth, the ones who end up with paid-off houses, fat 401ks, and the freedom to retire on their terms, they don't do everything at once. They pick a phase, go all in on it like their life depends on it, and then switch when the timing's right. I'm talking about something I've adapted from fitness, financial bulking, and financial cutting. Bodybuilders have been using this for decades. Bulk to pack on muscle with a calorie surplus, ignoring the abs for now, then cut to shred the fat and reveal the gains. You can't do both at once, or you'll spin your wheels forever, looking the same year after year. Your money works exactly the same. There's a bulking phase where your only mission is offense. Crank your income as high as humanly possible. You're not sweating the $4 latte or generic versus name brand. Then there's cutting, where you've hit the ceiling on easy income growth, so you flip to ruthless defense, optimizing every dollar you keep so it can compound into real wealth. The catastrophic mistake, and I see this all the time, is trying both simultaneously. You end up mediocre at earning more and mediocre at saving, achieving neither. Let's dive into what this looks like in real American life. Financial bulking is your 20s and early 30s game plan, when your income is probably starting low to moderate. Median household income for folks under 35 is hovering around 60 to 75K these days, often saddled with that 39K average student debt hanging over you. This is not the time to obsess over saving $5 on groceries or canceling Spotify. This is the time to go borderline reckless on increasing your earning power. You're saying yes to the overtime, the side gig delivering for Uber on weekends, even when you're exhausted. You're dropping $600 on an online certification in data analytics or project management because it unlocks that $18,000 raise. You're job hopping every 18 to 24 months. Stats show that's how Americans get the biggest bumps, often 10 to 20% jumps versus the pathetic 3% staying loyal. During bulking, your savings rate might look embarrassing, maybe 8 to 12%, way below the experts screaming for 20%. That's okay, because you're reinvesting in the biggest asset you have, yourself. You're buying the sharper work wardrobe for client meetings. You're paying for LinkedIn Premium or that networking event downtown. Hell, you might even live in a pricier apartment closer to the office or in a hot job market like Austin or Denver, saving commute time to grind skills instead. To the frugal crowd, this looks irresponsible, but here's what most people don't realize. Boosting your income from $65,000 to $95,000 over 5 years adds $30,000 permanent annual earning power. That extra cash hits every single year, forever. Your next raise builds off the higher base. Your next job offer benchmarks against it. Run the math, it's brutal in the best way. Say you spend an extra $4,000 a year in bulking mode, courses, networking dinners, better laptop for freelancing, maybe higher rent for opportunity. Feels painful on a $70K salary, but if that pushes your income up just $15,000 a year, you're looking at a 275% ROI. And unlike the S&P 500's historical 10% average annual return, this compounds upward on your human capital forever. No market crash wipes it out. Now, you might be thinking, Troy, but what about my student loans? They're crushing me with interest. Fair point. Average borrower has about $39,000 at rates that can hit 6 to 8%. But here's where the psychology kicks in. In bulking phase, you're attacking debt indirectly by exploding your income. A $20K raise means thousands more toward principal each year, shortening the payoff timeline dramatically. Plus, higher income improves your credit score faster, paying bills easily, lower utilization, and that sets you up for refinancing later when the Fed cuts rates. The trap? Staying in bulking forever. I've seen guys making $160,000, top 10% in America, who have less invested than teachers on $60K. Why? Lifestyle inflation hits hard. You get the raise, upgrade the apartment to that luxury building with the concierge, lease the BMW because you earned it, start vacationing in Miami instead of road trips. Spending rises exactly with income. You're living paycheck to paycheck at a fancier altitude, still chasing the American dream, but never catching it. Credit scores suffer from high utilization on new cards. Car payments eat the budget. Average new car loan is $750 monthly now. Insane. And that dream home down payment? Still zero. This is where cutting flips the script, and it's glorious when timed right. You've maxed easy income growth, maybe your mid-30s, topping out at 110, 120K in your field, without a massive pivot like grad school. Diminishing returns hit. Next promotion might take years or require politics you're not into. Now obsession shifts to keeping more of what you earn. You audit every expense like a hawk. In cutting phase, you're refinancing those student loans now that your credit score is 760 plus. Dropping from 7% to 4% saves thousands in interest. You're ditching the $750 car payment for a paid-off reliable Honda, freeing $9,000 a year. You're switching cell plans, bundling insurance, cooking batch meals instead of $15 lunches daily. You're questioning the $200 monthly subscriptions, streaming, gym, apps you forgot. All that small stuff you ignored in bulking, it matters hugely now because every dollar saved goes straight to work. Watch your savings rate skyrocket from 10% to 35–50% without earning a dime more. That's when you max your 401k, especially the employer match, free money, and fund a Roth IRA for tax-free growth. Average 401k balance in your 30s is pathetic, around 70 to 100k median, because most folks never cut properly. But you're compounding at S&P's 10% historical average, turning saved dollars into hundreds of thousands over decades. Here's what gets really interesting. Tie this to the American dream psychology. We grow up sold on bigger house, nicer car, perfect family vacations, the keep upgrading mindset. It's baked in. But that fuels endless bulking, chasing status that evaporates your wealth. Cutting requires rewiring, asking not, can I afford the upgrade, but does this actually move me toward owning a home outright, retiring at 55, leaving something for kids? That $800 monthly luxury apartment premium, invested at 8 to 10% over 20 years, is nearly $500,000, enough for a paid-off house in many markets, or generational wealth. Let me hit you with hard data that should wake you up. Personal savings rate in America is hovering around 4 to 5% lately, embarrassingly low compared to historical 8 to 10%. Why? Lifestyle creep. Studies show as income rises, spending on housing, cars, dining jumps proportionally. High earners feel just as broke because they're inflating lifestyles. Meanwhile, the wealthy sequence phases. Bulk aggressively young when time is on your side. Extra 20K earned at 28 compounds way more than at 48. Then cut to harvest. Concrete example time. Say you're 27, making $68,000 with 35K student debt. Bulking mode. You invest time and $3,000 in a coding boot camp, land freelance gigs, jump to $92,000 in tech support role. That's 24K more yearly. After taxes, maybe 18K extra take-home. Throw minimums at debt, but the higher income accelerates payoff. Over 10 years, that jump alone adds over 200K pre-compounding raises. Alternative? Penny pinching everything. Cut eating out, save $300 a month, that's $3,600 a year. Feels good, but over 10 years, $36,000 saved, plus meager interest. The income jump crushes it by orders of magnitude. Flip it. You're 35 at $115,000 plateaued. Cutting mode. Audit finds $1,200 monthly leaks, $400 dining, $300 car extras, $200 subscriptions, $300 impulse. Plug them. Savings jump $14,400 a year. Max 401k at $23,500, 2026 limits around there. Roth at $7,000, extra to student loans or high-yield savings. At 8% returns, that found money compounds massively. Plus, better credit from lower debt means lower mortgage rates later. Dropping from 720 to 780 score can save $100,000 in interest on a $400,000 home loan. Let me hit you with an analogy to make this stick. Think American football. Offense, bulking, scores points by advancing aggressively, big plays, risks for yards. Defense, cutting, wins by stopping bleeding, forcing turnovers. Teams don't run balanced plays every down. They dominate one side when needed. You do the same. Here's what frustrates me most about generic advice. It treats everyone like permanent cutters. Skip the latte, cancel Netflix, great for 120K earners who've maxed income, but disastrous for 55K folks with growth potential. Opportunity cost is insane. 2 hours couponing saves $20. Same hours learning Salesforce adds 100K lifetime earnings. The psychology side. We chase the dream wrong because we're scared. Bulking feels risky, spending on self when debt looms. Cutting feels like settling. Downgrading car means failure to peers. But ego lies. Real winners override it. Test yourself honestly. In the next 12 to 18 months, could you realistically add $20,000 plus to your annual income through skills, negotiation, hopping, or hustle? If yes, and most under 35 can, bulk hard. Every dollar an hour on optimization is stealing from growth. If no, you're topped out or big jumps require changes you're unwilling, family moves, more school, cut ruthlessly. That energy now yields massive ROI. Most Americans do halfway everything forever. Savings rate proves it, 4.7% average. They wonder why 401k is lag, median under 100k even in 40s. Homes feel unreachable, down payments require decades at low savings. Retirement scary. You now have the framework. 20s, bulk like a startup. Spend on growth drivers. You. Ignore profitability short term. 30s plus, cut like a machine. Intentional, sufficient, no leaks. By 40s, Coast on investments, maybe index funds tracking the S&P. Transition feels wrong. Bulking addicts fear cutting as giving up. Override it. It's strategy. Action steps, clear and immediate. If bulking, most of you listening, honestly, list 3 skills boosting your pay 20% plus. Free resources first, paid if needed. Update resume or LinkedIn today. Apply 5 better jobs weekly. Negotiate current raise or start side hustle this month. Minimum debt payments. Focus income explosion. Track investments in self separately. Justify them. If cutting, full expense audit this weekend. Bank statements last 3 months. Cut 3 biggest non-essentials. Car upgrade, dining, refinance debts, check rates, build credit if needed. Automate max 401k match, Roth contributions, high-yield savings. Set American dream goals, down payment timeline, retirement number. Pick your phase based on real opportunity, not age. 40 but career pivot possible? Book. 25 but already 150k in tech? Start cutting. This isn't moderation, it's all-in sequencing. That's how you win the money game in America, beating student debt, inflation, lifestyle traps. If this flipped your thinking, if it stung realizing you've been in the wrong phase, good. Use it. Subscribe for more no BS strategies like this video if it earned it. Comment your phase below, bulking or cutting, and let's talk in comments. You've got this. Go execute. See you next one.